Good evening and welcome to the March 16th meeting of the Glenville Town Board. Please rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Please join me in prayer. God our Father, you guide everything in wisdom and love. Accept the prayers we offer for our nation, our state, our town, and our community. In your goodness, watch over those in authority so the people everywhere may enjoy freedom, security, and peace. We ask this in your name. Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so the agendas are up front. If you'd like to take one. There are two add-ons to the agenda, which are not listed there. The first add-on. Oh, okay, sorry. So as you're taking the agendas, we're going to call the roll. So please call the roll.
Councilman Martin?
Yes, I'm here.
Councilman Capelani?
Here.
Let the record show Councilman Dewan is absent. Councilwoman Miskowski?
Here.
Supervisor Mattson?
Here. Thank you. We're all out of sorts tonight. It must be the rain. So we do have two add-ons. Add-on number one, which is a resolution authorizing for bonding, and resolution add-on number two is a resolution that would authorize me to engage in an agreement with a cell tower firm for a lease. And so those are the two add-ons. We'll take those up at the end of after 11 and before 12. And then we'll go into new business after item 12. And with that, we'll start with town council reports. I'll start on my left with Councilwoman Worzbowski.
I have no report, Mr. Supervisor.
Councilman Martin.
Yes, just briefly, we have our annual economic development event coming up next month, and I believe that is going to be April 21st. And this year it's at, where is it again? It's at the
Lighthouse.
Yeah, the Lighthouse again this year. So that's at 5:30, I believe, on April 21st, the Let's Talk Business event.
Thank you. Councilman Capelani.
Yes, last evening I attended the Scotia Glenville Dare Advisory Board meeting. The Dare Advisory Board was started in 1992 when the Dare program was started in Scotia and Glenville. And the job of the advisory board is to raise money in order to support the program in the schools. What is so great about the DARE program is it was kind of the first time that the community, the schools, and the police department got together to supply one program. And the police department supplies the officer and pays the officer. The school system supplies the classroom and what the officer needs when he's at school. And what the community does, or the DARE Advisory Board does, is supply the funding that's needed to purchase the workbooks, some of the other program stuff that they need to work with during their 16 weeks, and also the graduation certificates, graduation shirts, and so forth. So there is some openings on the DARE Advisory Board, and we're going to be actively seeking some members to add on there. In the past, we've had an annual golf tournament, which we didn't get to this year because of the cut down on the amount of members on the board. So hopefully we can try to build this back up and do a tournament maybe in the fall or next year, or look at other types of fundraisers. But the program is still going full force in Glendale and Glenwarden and Ashley Elementary Schools.
Thank you. And with that, we move on to item number 5, privilege of the floor. We have nobody signed up for privilege of the floor, or if anyone wishes to be heard at privilege of the floor, open. And anyone wish to be heard, going once, going twice, seeing none, privilege of the floor is now closed. We'll move quickly to supervisor's comments to the board. I was going to be very brief tonight, but when I heard that my daughter was going to be here for her class tonight, I decided to give her the full and doctoration, intent to at least give her the full experience of a long report, so I'll still try to be brief. I could always talk to her at home. I'll give her a full report at home. Just real quick on a few things that to report on. Obviously, I think many of you know, last Monday, one of our small businesses did a grand reopening. They reinvested at Plush Hair Salon, expanded their space a little bit upstairs, did a really nice job. It looks great in there. They said their business has gone up considerably since that, so that's really good news. They're very happy. They talked to me a lot about how happy they are with Glenville and their spot and the business they're getting and what they're seeing happening in the town, so that was a nice event. Jamie and I and Kevin have been meeting with the McDonald Engineering on the lighting plan for the town center. We're very, as you can tell by the resolution tonight, close to starting the project. We'll have a resolution to go ahead and purchase the lighting poles and fixtures. They're about a 10-week lag, so we really have to do that now. That pushes us back a little bit, but the plan ran into a little snafu when we got to Glen Ridge Road and we had all the utilities to deal with. We had to really kind of reconfigure how we were going to do the lighting on Glen Ridge, but we have that all worked out now with the engineers and we're ready to move forward tonight. Talking with Jason, he and Attorney Cuevas informed me that the Tyler Tech contract is ready to execute, which is obviously we authorized the purchase of the new software for starting with finance, but really being implemented throughout the town. So this is going to be a fairly large project going forward. We'll start to see a phase in of this project probably through maybe late summer into early fall, somewhere in there. But that is going forward. Just had to work through some contractual issues. Our water bill cards are out, so I got some questions on that because people were thinking about the water meter automatic read meters. Obviously, we're still on the current system or the old system. This year, people have already started to return them right out here. If any resident wants to return them, they can bring them right to there's a little bowl out front. They can drop them in. But this year, you can also go online and enter your read right on the town website, which is fairly handy. So if people can do that, that would be great too. Oh, and just one thing, Councilman Martin, on the April 21st event, the panel is pretty much set. I'm not going to be at the meeting tomorrow, obviously, but the panel is set. So at the Let's Talk Business panel event, we have a panel of folks that are going to represent different areas of our commercial corridor. So we've asked Pat Papalizio to be on the panel representing Freeman's Bridge Road. We've asked Tom Burke to be on the panel representing Town Center with his project over here across from Price Chopper. We've asked Wolf Hollow Brewery to be on the panel representing the Route 5 corridor, and we've asked Dave Hall to be on from the Blessed Group on the panel to represent the Business and Technology Park. So we have a pretty good representation of the different commercial areas in the town. The panel is going to be a Q&A so that people will have a chance to maybe ask some questions and then get some answers from these folks about what they see going forward, why they're making such large investments in the town of Glenville. So it should be very, I think, very exciting to watch the panel. Two quick things. I met with Ray Gillen and Susan Swartz on the unsafe way to school currently. We're talking about ideas of how we can partner between the school, the county, and the town over there in front of the middle school to try to make it a little bit safer. There are some constraints, physical constraints in there for sidewalks, so it's a little more problematic than it would sound as far as where the athletic fields start and where the sidewalk can begin and who owns what property. But Metroplex has pledged to pay for a traffic study there through Creighton Manning. I think they've engaged, and so that will at least start, and we're going to hopefully work on that much anticipated solution to that problem. And then lastly, I also had the opportunity to meet with the village, the mayor, and Andrew from the DPW to talk about this municipal restructuring fund. We had a good meeting. We had a second meeting with the 2 school districts and then the village also. We talked about a lot of really good ideas for this municipal restructuring fund. I called the Department of State, who administers the grant, to kind of just give them an idea of what we're looking to do and try to get some feedback from them on if we're going down the right path or not. They absolutely fell in love with the idea, to the extent that they set up a meeting with all of us, all the players. They're coming in here first week in April. They're going to meet with the village, the school districts, the fire department. The fire departments are also invited. And there's been some expansion to hopefully bring the county into it. The really good news out of the meeting is when we talked about the different possible areas to go, Burn Hills was not opposed to the GSA property. So that's a really nice breakthrough. There's a tremendous amount of cooperation, people wanting to work together on this by most of the parties at the table. So it's a very positive thing forward. It could be a very big thing for our area to get this state-of-the-art facility, hopefully, that we can all share and hopefully save taxpayers money. So that's continuing. And again, the clock's running on that, so we're trying to get that done as quickly as possible. But step one, if we do get funded, I think we talked about it last time, there's the venture track and then there's the fast track. The fast track is for shovel-ready projects. The venture track, and just to be clear, because some people had some confusion on this, the venture track is a 4-step process. The first step, it funds the study. Okay, so some people are out there saying, no, this money only funds studies. That's not true. It's only funded studies to this point because that's the first step in a 4-step process. And so then when the study comes back, that unlocks your second bucket. And then you get into the implementation phase, and then you get into the capital cost phase. So that's the process. We would be in that track since we're not ready with the shovel-ready project. So I just wanted to clarify that. Any other questions or comments for me?
I think that's great news.
Moving forward.
That's really great news.
Thank you. So back to the agenda, which is item number 7, a resolution authorizing the Commissioner of Public Works to purchase certain equipment for the Department of Public Works. Do I have a motion?
So,
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Mr. Supervisor, this is a little bit long, but in the interest of transparency, I'm going to kind of read through the resolution. This resolution is in connection with the Town Level Highway Department, which requires reliable and proper equipment to perform the town duties. The Highway Department now has a 2001 Bobcat skid steer, which has reached the end of its useful life and requires replacement. The Highway Department is in need of 1 set of 4 automotive trucklets at the Town Level garage to replace the obsolete units which were removed in 2014. The Highway Department also utilizes a 2012 John Deere loader, which the Highway Superintendent recommends be replaced with a larger unit to improve departmental efficiencies. The Highway Superintendent has found suitable replacements for all of the aforementioned equipment under New York State contract pricing. Excuse me, I got a little bit of a cold this week. General Municipal Law, Section 9A, subsection 2, allows a municipal corporation to temporarily advance monies held in any fund to any other fund of the municipal corporation, so long as such monies are paid as soon as possible and within the same fiscal year. The Highway Fund currently has sufficient monies within the 2016 final budget appropriations to temporarily advance to the Capital Projects Fund for the purchase of the automotive/trucklets and wheel loader referenced herein until bond anticipation notes for such purchases can be issued and the proceeds of such bands received. Then this resolution would then resolve that the Highway Department Superintendent is authorized to purchase a 2016 Bobcat compact truck loader under New York State contract pricing at a cost not to exceed $54,000. That expense would be charged to the equipment line as included in the 2016 adopted budget. The resolution would also allow the Highway Superintendent to purchase 1 set of 4 automotive/truck lifts, including jack stands, beam adapters, and ancillary equipment under New York State contract pricing at a cost not to exceed $45,000, with this expense initially paid through in advance of appropriated highway fund balance until the receipt of proceeds of a bond anticipation note to be issued in June of 2016, at which time the capital projects fund shall repay the highway fund in full. Additionally, this would resolve that the highway superintendent would be authorized to purchase a 2016 wheel loader under New York State contract pricing at a cost not to exceed $190,000, with this expense initially paid through an advance of appropriate highway fund balance until receipt of the proceeds of a bond anticipation note to be issued in June of 2016, at which time the capital projects fund shall repay the highway fund in full. It will also resolve that in lieu of a purchase, the highway superintendent is authorized to lease a 2016 wheel loader should the town comptroller determine that this method of acquisition would provide the best financial value to the town. In other words, we would either, after evaluation of what would be the most efficient and expedient and cost beneficial way for the town to do so, we would either purchase or we would lease the 2016 wheel loader. We would also be resolving that upon purchase and delivery of the 2016 Bobcat compact track loader, the 2001 Bobcat skid steer would be deemed surplus and would be eligible for disposal in the most cost-effective manner. And finally, the last bit of the resolution is that upon purchase and delivery of the 2016 wheel loader to the town of Glenville, the 2012 John Deere loader is deemed surplus property and is then eligible for disposal in the most cost-effective manner. And I think
Excellent.
that's it. And I think that if they're saying that Tommy and also Mike Seaburn have worked really hard to try to come up with a way for us to, and also the comptroller have come up with a way for us to try to fund this equipment within the budget and then to obtain the monies to reimburse as quickly as possible in advance. I can tell you that from the years that I was the liaison to the highway department, they do use this equipment every day, and it does get hard use, especially the loader. So.
Any questions or comments?
I'd just like to emphasize too that these are, big purchases that we don't take lightly. We discussed this in our workshop prior. I'm fine with it, and I think it's needed as well. I just ask, could you, Jason, when you decide about the lease or purchase, just let us report back as to what the option was? So that's all I have.
It won't be Jason's decision alone. There's a raging debate going on among the staff, so it's interesting to watch.
Well,
You'll know.
However, but when I hear the thunder pass, I don't know.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Tattelbaum?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozzachowski?
Yes.
Supervisor Catzler?
Yes, resolution passes. Next resolution, Resolution 8, authorizing the purchase of the water fountain for the Anderson Park. And just for the record, Anderson is spelled with an E, correct? All right. It's an O. But it's spelled on the resolution. Not on the agenda. Gotta follow along on the agenda. Need a motion?
So moved.
Need a second?
I'll second it.
Any questions or comments?
Yes, Mr. Supervisor, this resolution is in connection with the opening of the Anderson Dog Park. This is, we have a receipt of a bid for a fountain, which is not just a fountain, it's a fountain. It also has a pet fountain. It has adaptations for handicapped access. It has a seasonal cover for bowls and a seasonal cover for the pet fountains. It's kind of a really neat piece of equipment from what I understand. This resolution would allow us to purchase this to have it be installed in the dog park for a cost not to exceed $4,795, including shipping. It would be charged to the account number dedicated to the park fund. We'll be purchasing said fountain from Most Dependable Fountains, very neat name, in Arlington, Tennessee. And I would say that I have 3 dogs myself who may not use the dog park as we have a nice dog yard, but I think that it's going to be pretty spiffy. So, kind of excited.
You come and use the water fountain.
Probably good. Probably good. It's going to be pretty spiffy. It's not just a hose.
You know, not just the hose. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Tattelbaum?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozzachowski?
Yes.
Supervisor Catzler?
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 9, resolution scheduling a public hearing for Wednesday, April 6th at 7 p.m. here at the Glenville Municipal Center to hear all persons interested in the proposed local law to amend the vehicle traffic law, section 255-6B. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I'll second it.
Moved in second, any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Supervisor, as you said, I'm introducing a local law to amend Chapter 255, the Vehicle and Traffic of the Code of the Town of Glenville. And a duly scheduled public hearing must be held in order to amend the existing code by local law. That the town board of the Town of Glenville will meet at the Glenville Municipal Center, 18 Glenridge Road, Glenville, on Wednesday, April 6th at 7 p.m. or as soon thereafter as possible, at which time we will hear all persons interested in the proposed law to amend Chapter 255 of the Vehicle and Traffic Code of the Town of Glenville. And that the town clerk may, and she is hereby authorized and directed to prepare the proper public notice of said hearing in accordance with law as follows. There is a number of them, and I will hastily run through these.
Just the underlined part is the issue.
Okay, just the underlining part, and that is the addition to Weatherwax Road, the entire length, that the parking of vehicles is hereby prohibited in that location. And the other ones listed on here.
Those are already.
They're already.
They're already on.
Oh, they're already-
That's just the
okay.
amended. One thing I do want to point out is I don't believe the entire length is
Yeah,
correct.
not getting that report back
Right.
from the Traffic
Okay.
Safety Committee, but apparently getting a report back from the police department. They believe that the entire length would probably be cost prohibitive in the amount of signage that would be required.
Okay.
But so I guess they're looking at a shorter length that's closer to the subject property where the
Okay.
parking issue will
The
arise.
question is, if it says in the resolution.
We can amend that here, and so then we can take the amendment if somebody wants to make a motion to amend to.
I take a motion to amend.
I would make the motion.
And then a
I'll
second.
second the amendment.
Second, so on the motion to amend the resolution, which is Resolution 9, where it says Weatherwax Road entire length, to read Weatherwax Road length determined by Traffic Safety Committee report.
Well, wait. While we have a local law, we will need the length.
Right.
As you said, we have some partial road descriptions otherwise that we need the intersection that.
Well, we were waiting for their recommendations, that's part of the problem, we want their recommendations.
Can we say entire length upon recommendation from traffic safety committee?
With the traffic engineer.
Well, I think that if we don't have it, we would leave it as is and then amend it at the public hearing, and then get the report back.
We can do that.
Yeah.
So we can withdraw the
I'm
amendment?
gonna make my amendment fair. Sets me up for failure. All in favor? No. Okay. So what do we do? Just let the amendment-
Right, just to have the public hearing.
Okay, so back to the resolution 9. I think we've talked about this one. Anyone have any other questions or comments on it? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Pepperoni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozzachowski?
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 10, authorizing the solicitation of bids for lighting poles for the town center lighting project. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
Mr. Supervisor, this resolution would authorize John N. McDonald Engineering and the Town Clerk of Town Level to prepare the notice to bidders for 3 contracts for the Town Center lighting project, which would include ornamental light poles and an ornamental clock tower. The style of light poles will be specified, and it would also bid for the installation work of all of the accoutrements of the lighting district.
Thanks, Pat. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Pepperoni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozzachowski?
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 11, authorizing the supervisor to enter into a settlement agreement with the county of Schenectady in relation to mitigation of sewer discharge violations. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I'll second it.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
Mr. Supervisor, this is just authorizing you to enter into an agreement where resolving the question of sewer discharge from Schenectady County Nursing Home. As my understanding, the nursing home facility is going to put in,
Hey,
they're going to pay for
we'll
an impeller.
install it, and they'll pay us, reimburse us.
So to handle the solid waste facility.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Catalani?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozzachowski?
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. Let's take up 12 before we do the add-ons. I said we'd do the add-ons first, but resolution 12 is just approving monthly departmental reports for February 2016. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Supervisor, this is the monthly reports from the Assessors Department, the Assessors Department for January and February, the Building Department, Economic Development, Planning Department, Justice Department, Police Department, and Dog Control, Receiver of Taxes, Section 8, Town Clerk's Office, and the Water Department for January and February as well.
Other questions, comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Catalani?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozzachowski?
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. Now we have the two add-ons. Resolution add-on 1 is a bond resolution that will allow authorization of bonding to be no more than $235,000. Do I have a motion?
I'll move
Do I
it.
have a second?
I'll second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Supervisor, this is the bond resolution that is in regards to the prior resolution that authorized the purchase of the equipment for the highway garage. This is $235,000, and I believe it was for the wheel loader and the beam, the jack stands. So that's where the amount comes from.
It's important to point out, this is only the authorized amount, and probably more likely than not the actual amount. And we won't get this high with our trading value, so even though I
This is an up to.
gave me some agita when I saw it, but we definitely will not get that. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Catalani?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozzachowski?
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. Next resolution is resolution add-on 2, a resolution authorizing the supervisor to enter into a lease with American Towers LLC. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded, just for discussion. As you all know, we've been engaged in this process for some time, probably well over a year, in the renegotiation of our Lowlick Lane water tower site. It has 2 cell tower firms and Time Warner on that for satellite receiver. We've been through a long process. I want to thank Attorney Mike Cuevas for negotiating this lease. I think you'll see it's much improved from where we were in the past. The terms of the lease extend to 15 years to 2037. I think John will still be on the board then. The base rent will be an immediate increase from where we are now at $8,500 to $24,000 per year, which is a 275% increase in revenue. Thought that was pretty good. Annual rent escalator will be 3%, which we don't have a rent escalator in there now, so we'll just continue to escalate over the 15 years. We do have a revenue share also component, which wasn't in there before, which will be fixed at $100 a month for each tenant after the first, so that's additional revenue as well. And a signing bonus. You think Mike would be like an athlete representing the NFL player. We got a signing bonus.
First is Town of Glenville, NFL's next.
That's right. $50,000 signing bonus, payable within 30 days, so that's going to be great. So that's really kind of the nuts and bolts of the agreement. Any questions or comments on that?
Thanks, Mike. I'm sure this was a
Yes.
long process for you.
We had protracted negotiations.
We did.
No, thank you. I think this is wonderful. Do we have any opportunity to discuss how we can bank this revenue?
Well, we can, because you know, the highway superintendent's going to be in the office tomorrow asking if I have to buy something else.
Yeah, I see him with his calculator.
Yeah. Absolutely, I think it doesn't have to be part of the resolution, correct, Mike?
No, I'm not suggesting it would be. I just, for a
So,
future workshop.
Maybe next work session.
Yep,
I know where you're going with it.
yep.
So, all right, any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Catalani?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozzachowski? Kirkowski.
Yes.
Supervisor Capson.
Yes, resolution passes. And finally, we're on to item number 13, new business. I'll start on my left with Councilwoman Foster.
I have no new business, Mr. Supervisor.
Thank you. Councilman Martin.
No new business.
Councilman Pipavani.
No new business.
And I have no new business either. So with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second?
Moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're adjourned.